This is right up our alley here. The Athletic, Tyler Kepner, New York Times, now with The Athletic, did a poll, 40 executives across Major League Baseball, and the top 10 in baseball. It's Brian Cashman there on the right, Andrew Friedman, Matt Arnold of the Brewers on the left, because the Brewers did quite well, and they should. So this is a poll, not just Tyler Kepner, but Tyler Kepner's poll of 40 executives. It's a great idea. Dodgers, Rays, Brewers, Guardians, way up there, making the most, again, on a budget, competing against the big boys. Then you get to Brian Cashman of the Yankees, Alex Anthopoulos of the Braves, Dave Dombrowski of the Phillies, Diamondbacks, Orioles, Padres, filling out the top 10. We did this on Top 10 right now. I did it with Mad Dog, just, in the offseason, and it's fun. It's subjective, obviously.
Yeah, it really is.
You're just kind of making it up as you go along. We did individual GMs, or whoever we thought the chief architect was. I don't want to get in trouble, but I thought number one was easy, Andrew Friedman. I went Alex Anthopoulos, Eric Neander, next Braves and Tampa Bay. Then the future Hall of Famers, the stalwarts, Dave Dombrowski, Brian Cashman. I thought Mike Rizzo, and he did not do well in that poll. I thought Mike Rizzo's rebuild is going very well. He also won a title, won regularly 95 games year after year. David Stearns of the Mets, maybe I went premature. I'm giving him a lot of Brewers credit. A.J. Preller deserved to be there. And then where I made, this is where the crux was. I went Rangers, Orioles, Chris Young, Mike Elias for the drafting that they've done with the Orioles over the Diamondbacks and the Guardians. Dan Mad Dog had the Diamondbacks and Guardians in, which made me feel better because I struggle with the end of my list. What do you think?
Well, I hate doing these lists. I can tell you that.
I love doing these lists.
I did a list.
That's the difference.
I did my top five. But let me tell you why I struggle with it. Like, I think David Forrest, for an example, in Oakland's one of the best baseball executives in the game.
You're correct.
But he's in a situation where no one realizes that he's a great executive.
If it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and he's winning 97, 98, he'd be top 10.
I got you, but there's no way he could win those games, those number of games, under the conditions he was trying to compete with.
We did top 10 managers. Mark Kotze, I mentioned, he might be a top 10 manager, but we can't put him in the top 10 right now. Yeah. So here you go, Dan. You got a top five.
But I could have, Tampa Bay, Philly, AJ and what he's done in San Diego, Milwaukee. I could put any of those clubs.
But you went Mike Hazen, good, right? And Chris
I think they've done a great job. I think Chris's consistency year in and year out is outstanding. Alex does a great job, and I think Brian gets penalized because he spends so much money. So everybody else in the industry always goes, well, my gosh, if I had that kind of money to work with, I should be in the top five. It's not that easy.
Right, and you wouldn't be that great for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Has been.
He's a Hall of Famer.
I thought, now I love your top five, but then you didn't find room in there for Eric Neander of the Rays. You got to get Neander in there somewhere.
Well, I didn't. But
I know what I'm saying. No, but so that's the thing. You got Diamondbacks and Guardians. I feel awful about that. Right. Diamondbacks and Guardians are high up for you. How about you, John?
Yeah, first of all, I'm with Dan. I hate doing this, but, it's part of the show, so we're going to do it. People accuse me of having an East Coast bias all the time. I don't believe that's true. I probably do have a big market bias. I think I'll cop to that. So I have all big markets here. I don't know how the Mets, David Stearns has done a fantastic job. I think I'm kind of with the crowd with the Dodgers and Braves and the Diamondbacks up there. I think we don't have a situation like we had when I first started doing this job, where we have a GM who's out on the golf course all the time. All these guys are serious. They're all trying to do a good job. Nobody's mentioned the Padres.
I had the
for
Padres
my money, last year with what they did, that Soto trade and everything building up, and they cut $90 million and gained an extra 10 wins.
I mentioned the Padres. I can't say no. I mentioned the Padres. I mentioned the Padres. By the way, hello. I mentioned the Padres.
Well, nobody other than you mentioned the Padres.
I have my top 10.
I'm with him on Brian Cashman. Over-criticized, unfair. I think the Phillies do a good job. I think the Cubs are doing a good job. That Tucker trade was fantastic. Maybe the best move of the last year. So I think everybody's doing a great job.
And the Orioles on
I didn't say
now he's got pom-poms.
I didn't say everyone was doing a great job.
Everybody, I could think of one.
So who's doing a terrible job?
I'm not going to get into
there we go. That's how about a bottom? See, a bottom five? No, we're not in this.
We're not doing the bottom five.
No, I don't want to do that. But you can. I like rewarding excellence, though, and these guys have become, since the Moneyball era and the Dan O'Dowd era, the rock stars of the sport. So, this is it's a competitive business. I like ranking them. We did again. I was glad Mad Dog had some that I didn't have in, and
it's just that ownership plays such a role in these rankings that allows the rock stars to be rock stars and other guys maybe not to be rock stars.
Right. But,
exactly.
But
100%.
Now, Guardians and Brewers are bottom third payroll, and that's at least being recognized that these guys are getting
they've
a lot
got owners
for their
that give
bang for
them
their
a
buck.
tremendous amount of freedom within that low payroll to make decisions day in and day out.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's in The Athletic now with Tyler Kepner, who's been on this program before.